20 of the fantasy baseball season, and he has a few hitters on the rise this week. The first guy's Dansby Swanson of the Atlanta Braves. So what a season it's been for Swanson this year. 25 homers, a 77 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, 68 runs scored, a 266 average, and a 321 on base. But the last couple weeks here for Swanson, 5 home runs, 17 RBIs, a stolen base, 12 runs scored, a 383 average, and a 442 on base. So right here, he's tearing the cover off the ball. He's getting on base a lot. And this Brave team, they've been on fire the last few weeks here, winning 9 out of 11 ball games. And Swanson's been a definite big part of it. The last few games for him, August 18th at Miami, 2 for 4 with 2 runs. August 20th at Baltimore, 1 for 3 with a run. August 21st at Baltimore, 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. August 22nd at Baltimore, 1 for 2 with a run. August 23rd versus the Yankees, 1 for 4 with a homer and RBI. And August 24th versus the Yankees, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. So right here, a lot of RBIs compiled over the last few games. And he's a hitter getting on base and just producing and driving runs in for this Atlanta Brave team. And Dansby Swanson, he's definitely a hitter on the rise this week. The next hitter on the rise this week is Taiwan of the Cincinnati Reds. So Aquino, he's come out of nowhere once again this season. After the first 5-6 weeks of the season, he was one of the best players in fantasy baseball. Then he cooled off mightily on the season, 18 home runs, 66 RBIs, 50 runs scored, 5 stolen bases, a 272 average, and a 337 on base. But the last couple weeks here for Aquino, he's ranked number 2 in fantasy baseball on the time. 5 home runs, 9 RBIs, 13 runs scored, a 458 average, and a 509 on base. And Aquino, it's been a big week for him, and he's been a player as well added in 20% of fantasy leagues over the last few days. So the last few games here for Aquino, August 18th versus the Cubs, 2 for 4 with a homer, an RBI, and a run. August 19th versus the Marlins, 1 for 4. August 20th versus the Marlins, 2 for 4 with a homer, an RBI, and 2 runs. August 13th versus Miami, 3 for 3 with 3 runs. August 22nd versus Miami, 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. August 24th at Milwaukee, 1 for 3 with a run. And August 25th in Milwaukee, 2 for 4. So right here, Aquino, he's going out there. He's definitely getting the job done for fantasy owners and the Cincinnati Reds. And I don't know how much longer this hot streak will last, but he's definitely a hitter on the rise this week. The next hit is Paul Goldschmidt of the St. Louis Cardinals. So Goldschmidt, this season, the numbers haven't been all consistent and all that great. But the last couple weeks here, he's ranked 5th on the time in fantasy baseball on the season. 21 homers, 73 RBIs, 71 runs scored, 10 stolen bases, a 282 average, and a 349 on base. So Paul Goldschmidt, he's going out there. He's still getting the job done. And he's a player that's been solid throughout his career here. Or maybe only one down season. But this year, I still think the numbers are good. And the last couple weeks here for Goldschmidt, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, 11 runs scored, 392 average, and a 439 on base. In the last games here for Goldschmidt, August 18th versus the Brewers, 2 for 5 with a run and a rib. August 19th versus Milwaukee, 2 for 5 with a run. August 20th versus Pittsburgh, 1 for 4. August 21st versus Pittsburgh, 2 for 5 with an RBI. August 22nd versus Pittsburgh, 2 for 4 with 2 runs, a homer, and RBI. August 24th versus Detroit, 0 for 4. And August 25th versus Detroit, 2 for 4, 2 homers, 2 RBIs, a stolen base, and 3 runs scored. So Goldschmidt, he's gone out there, and he's definitely getting the job done here for this St. Louis Cardinal team and fantasy owners. And now he has a good matchup coming up at the Pittsburgh Pirates for the next 4 games, where his stats definitely could go up even more. And he's definitely a hitter on the rise this week. The next hitter on the rise is Avisaíl Garcia of the Milwaukee Brewers. So Garcia, we know he was a former top prospect many seasons ago in the Chicago White Sox system. But this season, he's been pretty decent here with another new team with the Brewers. 24 homers, 76 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, a 275 average, which is great for his standards, a 346 on base. In the last couple weeks here, he's ranked number 7 in fantasy baseball. 4 homers, 7 RBIs, 7 runs scored, 393 batting average, and a 513 on base. So he's getting on base on a torrid pace right now. Half his at-bats he's been getting on, and he's the main reason why this Milwaukee Brewer team has been red hot the last few weeks, and why they're in first place as well in that NL Central. So the last few games here for Garcia: August 18th at St. Louis, 2 for 4, 2 homers, 2 RBIs. August 19th at St. Louis, 0 for 2 with a run. August 20th versus Washington, 1 for 4 with a homer and an RBI. August 21st versus Washington, 1 for 1. August 22nd versus Washington, 1 for 3 with a stolen base. August 24th versus Cincinnati, 0 for 1 with 2 RBIs. And August 25th versus Cincinnati, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI. So Garcia, he's gone out there. He's producing great numbers, no doubt about it, for this Brewer team. But right now, he's not going to sustain the numbers, especially the ones he's put up over the last 2 weeks. But while he's riding this hot streak, he's definitely a player on the rise this week, and the fifth and final hitter on the rise this week. Juan Franco of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Juan Franco, we know he's one of the top prospects in all of Major League Baseball coming into the season. On the season, 6 home runs, 29 RBIs, 38 runs scored, 2 stolen bases, 274 average, and a 333 on base. So Franco, he got off to a bad start the first few months in the major leagues for him. And we didn't like, as Tampa Bay Ray fans, that they traded Willy Adames pretty much for nothing. And we've seen what Adames has done now for the Brewers. But the last couple weeks here, Franco, he's starting to get comfortable, I believe, here in the major leagues now. 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, 16 runs scored, 11 ranked overall in fantasy baseball with a 367 batting average and a 415 on base. So those are great numbers, no doubt about it, here for Franco. And he's been a hit machine with 3 out of his last 4 games. He's got multiple hit games, including in that time, 8 hits in 4 games. So right now, he's a hard out to get. And he's getting it going with this Tampa Bay Ray team. The last few games here for Franco: August 18th versus Baltimore, 3 for 4 with a run and 2 RBIs. August 19th versus Baltimore, 1 for 2 with 2 runs. August 20th versus the White Sox, 1 for 5, an RBI and a run. August 21st versus the White Sox, 2 for 4, 2 runs and a rib. August 22nd versus the White Sox, 2 for 5 with 3 runs and an RBI. August 24th at Philly, 1 for 4 with a run. And August 25th at Philly, 3 for 5 with 2 runs scored. So Juan Franco, he's gone out there, and he's definitely getting the job done here for this Tampa Bay Ray team. And fantasy owners who obviously haven't given up on him, after I saw him getting dropped in a decent amount of leagues the last couple weeks. But right now, it took him some time. He seems more comfortable in the majors, and he's definitely a hitter on the rise this week. So that's a few hitters on the rise here in Week 20 of the fantasy baseball season.